Baal Turim points out that in our Parsha, in Parshas Vayetze, there's no pain, no samach. What does that mean? It means in the Sefer Torah, if you open the Sefer Torah, there's breaks. Not only the Parsha Shavua, but within the Parsha, there's breaks. There's a pei, there's a samach. Pei is pasuach, samach is sasam. It means it's open till the end of the line, or 9 empty letters. But one way or another, there's paragraphs within the Torah. And in Parshas Vayetze, there's no. That's what the Baal Turim points out. The Baal Turim gives his own explanation. Or Gedal Yeshor in the Sefer Or Gedal Yo. Zatzal. This is a very beautiful explanation. If you look in Parshas Vayikra, at the beginning of Parshas Vayikra, Rashi says, you know why there's breaks within the Torah? Because Moshe Rabbeinu, when he's learning halacha, new halachas, karbanos, everything that's in Sefer Vayikra, he has to stop once in a while to absorb and to fully understand and comprehend all the nuances, all the details of this halacha, of the new mitzvah that he just learned. So every once in a while there has to be a break. Sometimes there's longer parashiyas, sometimes there's shorter parashiyas. Depends on how much time or how much effort Moshe Rabbeinu needed to have in order to absorb all the lessons of the previous parasha before going on to the next parasha. Says Rav Gedal Yeshor, Parshas Vayetze is the symbol of a Yid going into Golus. It's the first time a Yid had to leave his home, not by his own initiative, but because he was chased out of his home, he had to run away from his home, and he was going to Golus. He was going to meet people and situations that were not simple and that didn't have any precedence. He was going to meet Lavan, he was going to meet Esav, later he was going to meet Parai. This is Yaakov Avinu who goes into Golus for such a big part of his life. And the many lessons we learn from Yaakov being in Golus, we learn how to interact with the people around us, with the nations that surround us, hostile and not so hostile. But we learn all our lessons from Yaakov Avinu being in his Golus. The first lesson, says Rav Gedal Yeshor, in this Golus is not to have any breaks, not to have any pauses. You have to be completely connected to the past in order to survive through the Golus, through all the trials and tribulations that he's going to meet in the Golus. The first time that he'll stop and he'll say, oh, that was the past. Now let's think about what to do in the future. That's the biggest danger that he can have. And therefore, Parshas Vayetze, the symbol of Yaakov being in Golus, is a parsha without any breaks. No parsha, one long parsha from beginning to end. And it symbolizes the fact that Yaakov was completely connected with his past, with the upbringing that he witnessed and that he experienced in the house of Yitzchak and Rivka. Rav Gedal Yeshor quotes the Zohar. The Zohar says it's comparable to a person who digs a very deep pit and he has to go down deep into the earth. If he wants to be sure that he'll be able to get out properly, the first thing he has to do is tie a rope to the opening of the pit and hold on to the rope the whole time as he's going down. And that way he'll be able to climb up, he'll be able to climb back out of the pit and out of the dark Golus. Klal Yisrael, unfortunately, throughout our dark and at times terribly difficult history, we found ourselves in situations we were cut off from the world around us, from the past. It happened in Golus Bavel. When the Yidden came back after Golus Bavel, it was terrible. They were all married to non-Jews. They had non-Jewish children. They forgot completely Lashon HaKodesh. It happened not so long ago in our own history. Also, the 7 years of the Golus of the Soviet Union, when there was the Iron Curtain, and then there was impossible to have any connection with the world around them, and the Yidden so quickly, and just in a few generations, completely lost their connection, and they're completely strayed. The first lesson of the Golus, Baruch Hashem, now we're not living in those terrible times of Golus. We're living in what's called the Golus Shel Chesed, and we live in a time when we're able to learn Torah, we're able to keep the mitzvahs, but at the same time we have to realize if we want to get out of this Golus, we're still in Golus, and if we want to reach out, if we want to grab onto this rope and reach out, we have to strengthen the rope. We have to rebuild the connection as much as possible and as strong as possible to Avraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov, to be able to go through the entire Parshas Vayetze, the entire Parsha of Golus, and come out like Yaakov Avinu did on the other side, and to come out of this Golus in the proper way. Ve'eshiv leiv avos al bonim v'leiv bonim al avosim. Good Shabbos.